sometimes it must feel kind of discouraging because it doesn't feel like what's being talked about in Washington has anything to do with what's going on in your lives day to day. And it must feel as if sometimes you're just forgotten. And sometimes the news that's being reported on is really important. I mean, what's happening in Iraq is relevant. We got to pay attention to the threats that are emanating from the chaos in the Middle East. Although I want to be very clear, we're not sending combat troops into Iraq, because we've done that, and we've given them an opportunity, and they're going to have to contribute to solving their own problems here. Although we'll protect our people, and we'll make sure that we're going after terrorists who could do us harm. But sometimes the news that's coming off is these are just Washington fights. They're fabricated issues, they're phony scandals that are generated. It's all geared towards the next election or ginning up a base. It's not on the level. And that must feel frustrating. And it makes people cynical, and it makes people turned off from the idea that anything can get done. And if I've got one message today, it's the same message that I gave to that young mom that I mentioned, who I had lunch with before I came here, who wrote me a letter just talking about how she's done everything right, her and her husband, and she's working hard and raising 2 beautiful kids, and she has a great life, but it's a struggle, and wondering if anybody in Washington knows it. You know, what I told her is the same thing I want to tell all of you, which is, I know it. You're the reason I ran for office. No, I'm not looking for applause. I want to make this point. I grew up not in tough circumstances, but I was you guys. You know, somebody out here is going through what my mom went through. Somebody out here is going through what my grandma went through. Somebody out here is going through what Michelle and I went through when we were first married and our kids were first born. It's not like I forget. That was just 20 years ago that we were trying to figure out how to buy our first home. It was just 10 years ago when we finished off paying our student loans. You guys are the reason I ran. You're who I'm thinking about every single day. And just because it's not reported in the news, I don't want you to think that I'm not fighting for you. And I'm not always going to get it done as fast as I want, because right now we got a Congress that's dysfunctional. I'll be honest with you, you got a party on the other side whose only rationale, motivation seems to be opposing me. But despite all that, we're making progress. Despite all that, some folks have health care that didn't have it before. Despite all that, some students are able to afford their education better. Despite all that, some folks have jobs that didn't have it. Despite all that, the Green Line got built here in Minnesota. Despite all that, we can make life a little better for American families who are doing their best, working hard, meeting their responsibilities. And I don't want you to ever forget that. And I don't want you to be cynical. Cynicism is popular these days, but hope's better. Thanks, everybody. All right. Thank you.